Celeste, hello, and thank you for your lovely communications overnight. Well, over my night anyway. I'm just waking up and reassessing what's going on my planet today. So, hence the yawning conversational cul-de-sacs and general dislocation, but it's a pleasant dislocation. I will re-acclimatise myself to my environment in due course, I hope. Well, I don't know if I hope. I'll see. Anyway, you were lovely enough to say that you enjoy my rambling, which is nice, because I like rambling too. And I actually set off. Oops, excuse me. I actually used to be quite an active physical rambler, and this was what I put on my back, and it contains nothing. Oh no, hang on. No, it contains a very, very old ski glove. Yeah, I won't be needing that again. I've had this ever since my first skiing trip back when I was 11, and it's lasted, and it's still in remarkably good condition. A little bit of fraying of the thumb. And usually in here there's a whole variety of outdoor life goodies. Sadly, I can't see the balaclava. I will find it, I hope, so that you can be spared the horror of this too frequently. Although a video message from a bloke wearing a balaclava, yeah, that might be even more sinister, mightn't it? I don't know what else was living in here. Oh, just a coffee thermos and some gaiters for when you accidentally step from what you thought was a reasonably solid path into bogland, which goes up to your thighs, and suddenly fear that you may be sinking and panic. Apparently you're not supposed to panic in those situations. I don't know. I've never been trapped in quicksand. But apparently that only accelerates the sinking process. Anyway, bogland really isn't. I suppose it is dangerous. People could fall. But it's just a nuisance more than anything else. Oh yes, and what I do look at still is, excuse me, nice pickies of mountains. Oops, that's one of my favourite books. A Munro is any Scottish hill over 3,000 feet, which doesn't sound a lot, but it is relatively quite high. And they're named after the first person who compiled a list of all of them, Mr. Munro, surprisingly. I think it was Dr. Munro, I'm not sure. And they do, and somewhat like you, they are incredibly photogenic. I'm trying to find my favourite picky, which could take me a while. This isn't really bollocks. That is the southern Cairngorms, and the Cairngorms are the particularly high and relatively dangerous hills which surround a town called Aviemore, which is a big ski resort. Scotland's biggest ski resort. They're rather extreme places to try to venture in winter. I'm far more taken by the area known as the North West Highlands, because it's usually quite close to the sea, and it really, really is remote. You do feel like you are the only person in the world when you get up there, which is kind of the point. And two particular favourites. Do feel free to do anything you like while I'm reminiscing. Oh, sorry, this is crap, I know. Ooh, especially if I can't work out left from right. That one there is somewhere called Ben Skriel. They've all got impossible to pronounce Gaelic names, where apparently you just ignore all the consonants and make various vowel sounds. Which was very close to the place that I love, called Glen Elg. I might send you a link for that place. Oh, these are all places that I've been and loved. This was a bad idea. Right, but I do want to find my absolute favourite. I have to look in the index, I'm afraid. It's SL189. Was I even close? Yes, I was close. Yeah. Fuck, that's a frightening one. That's a really frightening one. Ben Alligin. It probably doesn't look frightening, but it's basically just a slab. A slab of, is it quartz, I think. I'll bore you with what little I know about the geology of the area at some future date, probably after you've blocked me. Here we are. Right, this really is worth seeing. This is my complete favourite of all the Scottish hills. And I will leave this here so that you can see it. I'll try and balance it out. This is a Munro called Slioch, which is Gaelic for the spear, and for obvious reasons. And it's perfect. It really is. And just about you approach it via the path along here, and when you get to about there, you climb over a fence, and it just seems like the whole of the world opens up for you, and you know that you've got 2,000 feet of fairly hard climbing to do. But if the conditions are good, and if, as in this photo, it's reasonably sunny, the heart starts singing as well as pumping. Oh my god. No, right, that's enough. Was there one other I wanted? There probably was. I'd show you all of them. I could talk about them. I could ramble about them. Ramble about places where I used to ramble. And that one is a ridge of tops known as Anchillock. I've only been to the base of them, probably wisely. They are bollocks, video cam's just going off. They are rather fearsome places to be, even though it looks like a nice solid path. The knowledge that 10 yards to your right is 3,000 feet of gravity does do a little something to the sense of self-preservation. Now, where am I? Oh, I'm going to have a coffee as well. Oh, I did see a link on my HP page. I haven't actually been on HP yet, but I will probably investigate. Well, maybe I was right in thinking that you might like to do some joint reading, because that is uncanny, because that is kind of, well, exactly what I was going to suggest. Thank you very much for thinking along those lines, if you were. And it would be a total pleasure. And you asked if I would like to receive one of these from you. Was that a trick question? Yes, I would. Just say yes. Please, if you have the time and the inspiration. Did I have something else about which to ramble? Oh, yeah, I did. Got that out. Sort of my spiritual home. A range of hills called Torridon, which are just sublime. They're unique, geologically. They're unique in terms of natural history, and I spent as much time as I could there, and I'm very glad that I did. Very glad. I don't know if or when I'll get back to the Northwest Highlands. I'm kind of reluctant because my opportunities to do what I used to do will just be non-existent. Oh, fuck it, sorry, that's just self-indulgent and silly of me. I won't start thinking like that. And I've gone all husky. Great. So not only am I talking rubbish, I'm talking rubbish in a voice that you can no longer hear. Anything else to ramble about? Oh, yes, you are very, very kindly bidding on stroke winning, I think, one of my auctions. That's really, really nice of you. These are two of the soaps that, as you have explained, you cannot receive, unfortunately, with sadness. That's a little clear one. Little hearts in it. Oh. So it's a romantic soap. It's also extremely nice smelling soap. I'm not quite as romantic as you. I am more concerned with my stomach, with my heart. So that one's for me. It's a nice cupcake. Yeah, it actually does smell good enough to eat, and I might have it for breakfast. So if I return online and I am frothing at the mouth, it's not rabies, it's not even lust, it's just the fact that I have ingested various chemicals that at least will keep my teeth clean. Where can we ramble now? Not going to try to read. Well, if I'm not going to try to read and my rambling is taking us nowhere, going round in circles, I think I'd better let you enjoy the rest of your day. And oh yeah, I'll check out that link, and I think a joint reading. Believe it or not, I had and hoped to do some sort of play online at some point when I sort myself out. Probably something classical. I haven't, or very. And guess who I had in mind for the role of Clytemnestra, which is, I promise, a kind of compliment. No, not a kind of compliment, a genuine compliment. Eek, genuine. My plays are all sitting over there somewhere. An idea was having a look through at what was potentially on offer. I mean, what potentially I had in mind. I don't know. Do feel free to make suggestions. There's Ibsen, Ionesco. I once directed The Bald Prima Donna by Ionesco when I was very, very young, and that was my only venture into semi-professional thespianism. But it's not too late to start again now. Fuck, is this cable long enough? Yeah, there's it. God, it would. Right, yes. What a polite man. Bending over. Did you get... I don't know, did that... No, I'm just hoping that you weren't treated to an unwelcome spectacle of posterior there. Sorry. Right, Ionesco, his translation refers to it as the bald soprano. I knew it as the bald prima donna, and it's an insane play, and I loved it. I don't know any of those. Jack or the Submission? I expect my owner will probably have something to say about the Submission. Yes, this is the question I want to ask. Are you in a part of your country that speaks French from an early age? I don't know. If you are, I will have something when I find it. I will have something that I do want to read for any francophone, because it is, without doubt, my favourite set of poems in the whole of literature, really, and they are reasonably short as well. And I haven't spoken French for 5-6 years, so I'm itching to find a receptive audience for those. But you may not speak French at all where you are. I don't know enough. But that's just something afloat in the air, potentially. And Sartre's Huis Clos. This is the one which contains the line, I think, hell is other people. No, hell is not other people, hell is myself at the moment. Well, at the moment. Officer, often on occasions, that is the hell. No, I'm not going to start reading Sartre, but that's another possibility for anyone who may want to do a play. Possibly better would be some kind of dramatic dialogue with only 2 people. For a start, because that would make, I don't know, editing simpler. And directing simpler. It wouldn't involve splicing sound bites and conversation. I can't really think what would be an ideal vehicle for that at the moment. I'll have a Well, Ibsen would be good, but Ibsen is depressing and horrible. Right. And before this turns into a file which is large enough to explode Google, I'm actually going to stop and shut up. Thank you for being kind enough to make me smile, and for listening to this. Right, I'm yawning. I might go and get more coffee. And I'll see you whenever. Cheerio, Celeste. Bye bye.